Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to the far north in particular, of course, to the Northern Territory Football League, and of course, especially for the Waratah women's football team, because they had a massive win on the weekend, and they've been smashing their opponents in the last 2 weeks. And of course, we've got two very special guests on the Waratah Football Club to tell us all about it. Thanks, Bea, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Now I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you played on the field.
So I'm Molly, currently in my 4th season with Waratahs. I predominantly play ruck with a bit of fullback. This season I've mainly been playing fullback just because we're getting those defensive, we're working our defensive line a lot more, so predominantly down there.
And my name's Nikki. I come from Victoria. I am playing in the back line as well for the Waratahs.
Tell us a bit about last week, the weekend just gone, and I guess tell us a bit about that game.
Well, yeah, like it was very different to what we've been having recently with quite a few tough games. But I don't know, something had just clicked last week, and it was like a complete team effort. There was selfless acts. And I don't know, everyone just got around each other, and it was really good to see, actually.
Yeah, really good to get some confidence in the girls. I think we've been struggling a bit the last couple of weeks, so getting some goals and our forwards being able to actually get the ball themselves, I think it was really good for our confidence.
Talking about confidence, I think you smashed your opponents by about 175 points in that game.
Yeah.
Were you surprised the way, you just kept piling on the points, and did it ever actually come into the back line at all?
It did come into us a few times, but we were able to stand strong down there in the back line. I think the girls just really wanted to... Yeah, I think the forwards are really hungry to get their hands on the footy and get some goals. So I think, I guess we were pretty, you could say, ruthless with that. And especially because we've been struggling to get our forward entries in the past couple of games as well. So I think the girls really just wanted to get some goals in under their belt and some confidence there.
It was actually, pretty good. Like our coach, like the past 2 weeks, like the message has been do something. And I don't know, we put that into play. We had everyone doing something, whether it was their run and carry, the shepherd, the extra handball, like everything we've been working on in training came into play, which was good to see. I take my hat off to those, the Tracy Village girls, the team we played. Like every week, they have been beaten by like 100+ points. Every week they still show up. So I take my hat off to them, and they were thankful that we didn't reach 200 as much as we'd like. It was a good game.
Now, how's the preparations been like going into this weekend's game coming up?
It's been... I try and keep myself pretty the same week in, week out. I've got my routines of what I like to eat, and we did manage to get a really good win, but that doesn't mean we don't have work to do, and we'll still train really hard this week on the field. I think we'll come in with a bit more confidence as well, and I think we're really ready to play the Wanderers this Saturday, Arvo.
Looking forward, because we actually have training tonight, so getting in there, getting our legs moving, really just practicing everything, once again going over game plays, just like the teamwork that we really have been working on lately.
You mentioned before your opponents is Wanderers this weekend. Obviously a lot tougher opponent to the one that you already played on the weekend. I guess how are you going to approach that game this weekend?
I think just like the main things is just doing what we have been working on. Like I've said that a few times now, but like it's not going to come just doing like the same basic things every week. Like doing different things, playing in different positions, like seeing everyone's like full potential in different positions is really eye-opening. And we did see that on the weekend. Like as Nikki said, she normally plays backline, but having a run on the wing, she got to run and carry the ball and deliver it well into our forward line. So that gives us like opportunities to be versatile, like with our players, and have a few little sneaky ones up our sleeve.
I think pretty much what Molly said. I think we'll just keep working hard during the week. You know, it still doesn't change how we approach this game. We just we'll recognize that they will be a tougher opponent, so it's gonna be challenging. So we need to get there mentally. But yeah, as Molly said, it was really good to see the girls thrown around in different positions, to see what else could work out there against the Wanderers this week. So yeah, training this week will be really fun, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
Now, Nikki, obviously you've made the move from Melbourne to Darwin. I guess, was it an easy decision for you, considering obviously at the time Melbourne was in lockdown?
Yeah, I think Melbourne, as we know, really tough lockdown restrictions over the past 6-8 months since March. So I didn't need to think about it. I needed to line up a few of my personal things in order to come up. But I'm really glad I came up. The last couple of months have been really good to get out of Melbourne, get a clear head, and play some footy, which we haven't been able to do. You know, personally, Williamstown down there, we only played one pracky match, and that was in like February or something. So yeah, it's been a long time between footy and playing games, and obviously Darwin doesn't have much restrictions up here, so kind of just having that freedom back was really great for the mind. And yeah, being able to play footy is really great. I've loved it. Getting super fit up here with the heat. Yeah, I'm happy that I came up and gave it a crack.
Now, the question, Nick, I want to ask you, after the season finishes over there, of course, our Melbourne listeners are dying to know, are you going to be returning back to Melbourne and playing for Williamstown?
Yeah, well, I'm actually, this is going to be my last up here in Darwin. So the Wanderers is actually going to be my last game. And then I'm going to go to visit some family. And then after that, yeah, I'll be back at training with Williamstown. So in the second week of December, I'll be back on the trot on the field down there.
Oh, there you go. That's actually nice to know that. But I guess the question I want to ask both of you is, how special is to play with each other on the same team? You know, Molly, that obviously you're going to miss Nikki after this week's game. But tell us how special for you, Molly, to play with Nikki, and then Nikki vice versa back to Molly.
Yeah, so having like Nikki up, we also had two others, Dee and Eliza, come up from Williamstown as well. And I don't know, it just makes a phenomenal difference playing with girls from like different states, different leagues, because the competition's always different regardless of like where you are. And I don't know, it's great having her out there. She brings like a different kind of mindset. Because she's used to like the Victorian footy, which is quite different to Darwin footy, just different gameplays as well, structures. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be hard because now we've lost Eliza and Dee, and now we're about to lose Nikki. But I don't know. I'm sure we'll see them back up here soon to help us out again.
Yeah, as I said, I've really enjoyed playing up here. It actually turned out Molly and I actually played with each other back in my Coolangatta days. So we actually kind of know each other before I came up to Tars. So that was a really cool connection. But Molly's a really great player. I actually love her mindset as well when she comes to games, and she's so competitive. Like, it's pretty awesome to see. But there's other girls too. It's been, the whole team has been really welcoming to all us girls who came in and wanted to have a crack. Everyone's super generous, and it's been really great being a part of the team. And I really do plan to come back year after year to play more games as well.
Nikki, you just posed a fantastic question I'm going to ask both of you. Now, you both mentioned, obviously, Nikki mentioned that, of course, I guess both your friendships have gone back to the Coolangatta days in the Quaffle W. Now, the question I want to ask both of you is, did you verse against each other or did you play with each other?
We, I think we played on the same team. Like, we're not too sure, but it also goes back to even before that, playing youth girls for Queensland. Nikki, the year before me, was on the state team. And then the following year, I was on the state team. And we actually had a practice match that was Lions versus Suns. It turns out we played in that as well together. So it's, a small world. I don't think we realised back then who each other were, but we made the connection now.
Backing up what she said.
Now, let's talk a bit about both your football journeys. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
So my football journey actually started in Toowoomba in Queensland. That's where I'm from originally. We started off there. I think there was 6 teams in the league. And then for the first 3 years, we actually won the premiership. From there, I was going to move to Coolangatta, actually. So I played a few games down there, and then I joined the army, which had me move down to Papuka for a bit. And then I lived in Albury. When I was there, played a few games, and then posted up to Darwin. Been playing with Waratah since there. I've played with my brigade up here, and then as well as army footy, which gets played down in Victoria. And then was selected on the ADF team, but couldn't play due to a neck injury, which was sad, but these things happen. I don't know, I think what got me into playing footy was the good relationship that my whole family has with footy. I know my brother has always wanted to play, and that, as Nikki mentioned earlier, I'm very competitive, so always wanted to outdo him. And I don't know, as soon as I played my first game, I just loved it. And it was actually one of the girls at school that was like, come down, come play. I was like, sure, why not? And then just kick-started from there.
Yeah, that's cool. So I played footy as an Oz kicker in under 12s and under 10s with the boys. I was playing in a town called Coffs Harbour, which is on the east coast of New South Wales. And they had a rule we couldn't play past under 12s, so I kind of had to stop. But I was also playing basketball, so I was heavily involved and keen to play that. But once my basketball career kind of didn't continue, around 2011, my dad had moved, previously to that, had moved to Queensland. And he mentioned to me that there was a girls' footy team or competition up in Queensland. I was still living in Coffs Harbour, but I was like, I'm keen to do that. I need to be playing some sport. I had, a couple of games there, and then, similar to Molly, I fell in love with it. And throughout my last year of high school, I'd travel up to Queensland from Coffs Harbour, play footy, and then eventually I moved to the Gold Coast, and that's where I found Coolangatta and continued to play from there. And now I'm in Victoria and now here in Darwin.
Now, both of you mentioned that you both played at Coolangatta. Obviously, this year they made the grand final and unfortunately got absolutely smashed by Yoronga in the grand final. I guess, do you still follow how they're travelling?
I know I know I do, just here and there, just because liking through social media. So I just follow through that way. I probably don't follow it as much as I should, but yeah, it is good to see them each week. And I think now they've got a Division 2 team as well. And yeah, and it's definitely seeing the team list names. Like there's definitely girls that I've played with, and yeah, it's good to see them still going.
Yeah, similar to Molly, I definitely follow them through social media. I was really excited that they made. I was very much paying close attention this year, particularly with not having our own footy down in Victoria going on. But I was really stoked and really jealous that they made the grand final, particularly with Yeronga. About 4 years ago, we played Yeronga in where I was able to play that game. We actually won, so
Yes.
they've got one back. So congratulations to them. Yeronga is actually really top side as well. They've been very strong for a number of years. But Coolangatta as well, they've always been up there and doing really well. They've got some good culture there. Yeah, so I really like some of the girls who are still playing there. They're really good people. But yeah, I definitely watched closely this year to what they were doing.
Well, Nikki pretty much just answered my next question, which is what will be some highlights throughout both your football journeys? Obviously, I know Nikki's won a premiership in Queensland with Coolangatta, because I think I was up there for the first half of that year, and then unfortunately didn't come back for the rest of it. But I know that you've won that year. But I guess any other highlights for both of you?
Yeah, well, definitely winning that flag, big highlight. I think that year as well for me is probably one of my favourite years of playing footy. Just the Coolangatta team we had was really special. We just had everything right, our culture, our skills, and it just all gelled in. And that's definitely why we won that premiership that year rather. I think another highlight was definitely getting drafted and then being able to play with the Lions, including all the games and the grand final. I think that's probably, I guess, playing that AFLW grand final was definitely the pinnacle of my career. It's the highest. Unfortunately, we lost it, but yeah, it was a pretty special day. Yeah, so that's probably my highlights throughout my career that I'm very fond of. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like I have won quite a few premierships. So not last season, but the season before, we won one with Waratahs. And then last year we actually lost to the same team by, I think, the same margin that we beat them by the previous year. So I know it's been good playing like with the teams up here, as it is so close. But I'm no AFLW like Nikki, but that is my goal one day, hopefully. My biggest career highlight is probably playing on that Army AFL team. We did get to play down in Victoria. We had a good training program. We came away with the win against the Air Force, which sealed the deal. So we won the cup that year, which was good. And just, I don't know, there's something about the Guernsey we wore. It was just covered in poppies. And it was just really special putting that one on.
You mentioned right at the start what position you both play on the field. If you had a preferred position where you like to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be?
So mine, I do like fullback. I just love being around it, and I don't know, I just love being in ruck. So, Robbo, if you see this, put me in ruck.
Honestly, I think Molly could definitely play anywhere and ruck, and I think any position that she would suit. So, yeah, I'd hope Robbo does see this and listens to that. I'm a bit similar. I don't mind where I play. I really like any spot because they're both just unique. I'd probably have to say I do probably like midfield the most. Yeah, but when I first started my career, I was a backliner, so I haven't minded being back there and being a pest towards other forwards and rebounding footy off there. So
I need to ask you this question. has Nikki or any of her other two Victorian teammates convinced you to maybe come down and play for them down at Williamstown?
Well, actually, so recently, like with the Williamstown, how they posted the on social media with the submitting a video for looking for talent and that kind of stuff. I was umming and ahhing for a long time. I spoke to Eliza. I was like, oh, I'm just not sure. And I didn't end up submitting the video. I should have, but I didn't. But Eliza spoke to the coach and said that, like, if I'm ever down that way, I'm more than welcome to come train and stuff. So I do really want to, but just working in the army, I can't actually get down there, which is the hardest part of it. But yeah, I'd love to play down in Victoria.
Now, what does the sport of football mean to both of you, and especially being there at Waratah?
Yeah, football has been a great big deal with my life, I think. Sport has always been an outlet for me. I've always loved how friendships are formed through it. It seems, when I compare it to basketball, it seems I've been able to form closer friendships than I did with basketball. It's just different, mentally, it's especially up in Darwin, community football is so special to people, and it I don't know where I'd be at if I wasn't playing sport. And coming up to Waratahs, as I said before, they've been super welcoming, super generous. Loz, our captain, she's let me live with her for the past month, which has been so great. I've really enjoyed playing football and enjoying it again, especially after the year we've had with COVID down at Melbourne. So yeah, I'm very thankful for the opportunity, and Robbo, our coach, she's been very approachable and welcoming as well. So yeah, I've really, really loved my time here.
Yeah, I love football. As Nikki said, sport's an outlet, and it is the same for me. This year, it's probably been my saving grace. Just struggling a bit, and just playing footy, it clears your mind. You get around a good bunch of girls. I don't know, there's no team sport that I've played that we just high five, we get around each other, we just do everything. We help one another out, and that's really what footy is just helping your teammates out. The culture at Waratahs is amazing. This year, our main focus as a club is the one club, not men's team, women's team. It's just the one club. And yeah, this year, it's just phenomenal to see it happen. Just the boys supporting the women playing. And we've never received this much support. So it's really good. And also, I'm coaching the under 15 girls for Waratahs this year. So being able to pass my knowledge onto them and encouraging them to want to play footy. Every week you see it, the girls want to get down there. We train 4:30 till 5:30, but you see them down there at 4 just wanting to kick the footy. So I think it's just for any footy player that footy is just a sport that once you start, you can't stop.
Definitely agree.
Now, of course, I'm going to ask, for everyone that should follow the NT football, especially throughout this season, and obviously I think it's almost about to get to the halfway mark by the end of this calendar year. I guess what will be your advice on follow the mighty Waratahs between now and the end of the season?
I reckon the biggest thing is just watch this space. We're just getting bigger and stronger, and I know our fitness is increasing, our skills are improving. I don't know, definitely a team to watch. I know we have lost our Victorians. We've got Nikki for our last game this weekend, but hopefully they come back. And I don't know, just watching our under 18s as well come up and play. Yeah, definitely watch this space. It's growing.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for the other half of their season, but I'll definitely watch with interest. But I really agree with Molly. I think the one club attitude is really obvious. I think it's very rare for co-ed clubs to really honour girls' footy. And I think the Waratahs are actually doing that really well. I think as well that, the girls maybe have had a bit of a rough start, but they are working really hard. The girls are rocking up to training and putting the effort in, and that'll definitely show up in the lower end of the season. So, definitely keep an eye on Waratahs.
Now let's finish off with a couple of light-hearted questions, which is who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season to this point, and what was it?
It's probably you, Molly. You could probably answer that better than me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's quite a tough one. I don't know. Like, you can never go past a good falcon. Like, the amount of times it's happened as we have our midday game. So the sun's right above you. So if you're kicking that ball in high and that sun's behind it, good luck. That's all I can say. But I actually don't know if there's one thing in particular, but I don't know. Every week I think there's some form of laugh. But I don't know. It's a hard one, actually.
Any good comedians in the team we should know about?
I reckon Giza. I don't know, just the things she says, and I don't know, I don't know, when she says some things, you're like, I can't believe that has just come out of your mouth. But I don't know, she's always been good value, and I don't know, like, I'm sure Nikki can agree, like, this is, like, she's been here a month, and I'm sure she agrees that Giza just, I don't know what's going on in her head, but it's great.
Giza's definitely a comedy artist, that's for sure. Very funny.
Now, I know there's this social media thing called TikTok. So the question I want to ask both of you is, any good singers and dancers on the team we should know about?
I actually haven't seen any TikToks from the team, but I think if there were any, it would be the twins, so Monet and Matisse. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they're out there making TikToks. And just the way that they, I don't know, hold themselves in, like, in the social environment, it definitely would not surprise me.
I was going to say the same thing, the twins, for sure.
Yeah. Any pre-game superstition or ritual by either of you?
My pre-game, I don't know, I don't really have much, but hydrated, staying hydrated. But recently, my netball coach actually told me take a Barocca and a Hydrolyte first thing in the morning, and you'll stay hydrated throughout the day. I don't know if it works, but I've been doing it. And I always will play with a red ribbon in my hair.
Nice. I will always braid my hair. I only started doing that when I was playing in the Lions, and I saw vision of myself. I kept doing this with my hair, getting my hair out of my eyes. I was like, well, that's not good. I'm obviously can't see the ball. So started braiding my hair since the Lions. Similar, just making sure I eat right, hydrate, especially in Darwin. It is hot up here. And usually, because Darwin's in the off season, but usually what I like to do when I'm back at home is watch footy the night before. I think it's just, I don't know, I find it really calming, and you get a bit of visual like of the boys doing their thing, and I don't know, it kind of gets me in the zone, and I kind of watch what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, that's what I got to do for my role and everything like that. And then just make sure the next day I'm ready to go. Don't exert too much energy, and eat well.
Any players on the team that are just plainly forgetful?
Well, the forgetful part, we definitely will go back to the twins. Whether they forget socks, they forget shorts. When it's their turn to wash the jerseys, they just leave them at the stadium. Yeah, I don't know if their head wasn't screwed on. I don't think they'd even remember that.
Yeah, I'd go the twins. In the short period I've seen them lose a lot of stuff. So, and forget a lot of stuff. So,
Now, to finish off the interview, of course, I'm assuming both of you have player sponsors. You want to give them a bit of a shout out. You must tell us who that is. I've got a feeling it's the same player sponsor too.
Yeah, so we're sponsored by Peter Lorsch. This is his second year sponsoring me. So thank you very much, Peter. It's great to have your support.
yeah, thanks, Pete. You're a really great guy. He was basically the reason why I came to Darwin in the first place. So, yeah, thanks, Pete. Appreciate it.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. Best of luck against the Wanderers this weekend, especially Nikki's last game there at the Waratahs. And we can't wait to see how it all goes. And hopefully it finishes with a fantastic win over the Wanderers. And we can't wait to have Nikki back down in Melbourne in the next week or so.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been awesome. Thanks, Will. See you at training, Molly.
See you then.
No worries. And that's Molly Nikki there joining us from the Waratahs women's football team. Of course, if you want to get, if you're in Darwin, or of course, once the borders open up a bit more, of course, if you make sure you get up there to the far north and, of course, to the top end and watch some amazing NT football between now and the end of the season, which is in early next year. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away. Here on the Tuesday edition.